A few people can't control the world. There's too many people. It's not possible. Well, now we have a handful of people, which you could probably get on 10 fingers, that control Google, control YouTube, owned by Google, control Facebook, that absolutely dominate the information that most people see or don't see. We have a concentration of power in Silicon Valley, a very small area of the world, that is the greatest concentration of surveillance and censorship power the world has ever seen.
The idea that a small group of extremely powerful and wealthy individuals controls the world is often dismissed by the media as laughable conspiracy theories. However, recent years have shown that many so-called conspiracy theories turn out to be unproven facts. We must question why. If the ultra-rich and powerful do not control the world, they consistently evade justice for heinous crimes while dictating public thought. In one of his many interviews, public speaker and former sports broadcaster DavidIcke highlighted the significant difference between true freedom of speech and the so-called freedom to conform to what the ultra-rich and powerful deem acceptable. According to Icke, we do not have genuine freedom of speech today. Instead, we have a coerced conformity to the ruling class's acceptable standards, often conflicting with personal principles. This dynamic is evident on most mainstream social media platforms, search engines, and streaming services like YouTube. Only those who echo the ruling class's views are allowed to speak and be heard. This is not freedom of speech. It is the enforcement of conformity to what the platform heads and their influential backers consider acceptable. We will now present clips from DavidIcke's interview with Rob Moore, where he discusses censorship, freedom of speech, and the ultra-rich and powerful individuals who control the world. Please watch until the end, like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more content like this. Thank you and enjoy the video.
Anyone that wants to silence people rather than argue their case can't have much confidence in their own case, surely. And once you go down this road of giving authority the right to decide what can be said, what opinions can be had, you are in a tyranny, and that's where we're going now. But it's bigger than that, because it's not just political correctness. You can't say this, you can't say that, you must say that. It's also the fact that humanity has been hoaxed on a monumental scale in relation to freedom of expression and freedom of information. And it's been done out of an area that I call the devil's playground. It's better known as Silicon Valley. What's happened is, when you do the research, intelligence organizations like the CIA in the United States, the National Security Agency, and the Pentagon through an organization called DARPA, the technological development arm of the Pentagon, they began seed funding technology and companies to develop what has become now known as the internet, and an outgrowth of that, what became known as social media, and the search engine technology, which eventually became known as Google. All those were seed funded by this military intelligence network. And when they were selling it, because you can't show something's real face at the start, otherwise people will reject it and it won't get anywhere. You have to put another face to the world. So it was Google. Oh yeah, Google, yeah, and we just got a search engine, we can find what we like, that's great, hey. And social media, oh, you post to your friends, you can say what you like, there's no censorship, isn't it great? And then it builds, and then it builds, and then it builds, and now you've reached a point now with Facebook where it claims 2.2 billion active users in a global population of 7.5 billion. You have this 90% monopoly on search engines, searches of Google. You have YouTube, which has got basically a monopoly on the posting of internet videos, which is owned by Google. And once this monopolistic situation was reached, then they started saying, okay, now we've got this much control. We're going to start deciding what you see and what you don't see. It's fishing line out. Oh, it ain't great. Yeah, right. Say what you like. You know, no censorship. Ooh, gotcha. And so we now have Facebook that is systematically censoring information outside of the official narrative. We have this situation with Facebook and Twitter now, which is known as ghost banning, which they do to me, which is you post it, but all the people that would like to see it and have liked or followed, would like to see it, they don't see it. Only a few of them see it. The vast majority don't see it because of ghost banning. They just don't circulate it. And you now have, as blatant as can be, YouTube is just deleting large and greater all the time numbers of channels that are presenting a different narrative to the official one across the swathe of subjects that are just being deleted. They're just being deleted without any explanation.
In today's world of extreme censorship, people are often demonized for expressing opinions that contradict the official narrative. DavidIcke equates these actions to those of the fascists in Nazi Germany, who also maintained control by silencing dissenting voices. A society cannot claim to be free and fair if it resorts to tyranny whenever someone expresses a differing viewpoint, especially when there is significant truth in what they are saying. This approach aims to create a population of zombies who uncritically accept the official narrative and believe everything they are told. It also serves to disarm the population, making them more receptive to any nefarious plans that the powerful may have. Public speakers like Icke warn about the dangers of mindlessly following the official narrative and giving too much power to these elites. The loss of our voices is not only due to Silicon Valley billionaires censoring us, but also because we are allowing it to happen. Now, let's get back to the interview.
I've been talking for 30 years and writing for 30 years. There are very few people control the world. Very few people. People will be staggered how few.
How many?
Well, I'm going to come to that in terms of it's fewer now than ever before and why. But a lot of people have said in response to that, a few people can't control the world. There's too many people. It's not possible. Well, now we have a handful of people, which you could probably get on 10 fingers or 2 hands, yeah, that control Google, control YouTube, owned by Google, control Facebook, that absolutely dominate the information that most people see or don't see. We have a concentration of power in Silicon Valley, a very small area of the world, that is the greatest concentration of surveillance and censorship power the world has ever seen. They can decide what you see and what you don't see, and they can trawl your data, in other words, the military intelligence community can, to find out the fine detail of your life from the information that you've posted on these various platforms. So that's what we're facing in terms of freedom of speech. It's disappearing. In fact, it doesn't exist. There is no freedom of speech. By the definition of freedom of speech is the freedom to speak your opinion and not have it censored and not have it banned. We've reached the point now where there is a global network of ultra-Zionist groups that answer to Israel and the Netanyahu regime currently, who are targeting anyone who is in any way questioning the fact that Israel is not God's gift to humanity in every last thing that it does. This does not only include the general population. The ones they focused most on are Jewish people. Jewish people who are questioning the Israeli treatment of the Palestinians, which is horrific, are being targeted by these ultra-Zionist hate groups. I say hate groups because their modus operandi is to get the public to hate their targets, to silence them. And it's extraordinary how easy it is. I'll tell you how easy it is with me. They go to, and I'm talking a ridiculously few people that don't represent the Jewish community at all, just claim to. They'll go to a venue and they'll say, this man Icke, he's going to come and say, it's all the Jews, he's anti-Semitic, he's a racist, he's going to say the Jews are doing this, the Jews are doing that. I ain't said any of that. The venue does not then come to me and say, look, these people are saying you're going to say this. And I'd say, look, go on my website and you'll see a video, a 10-hour talk that I've been doing for the last 2 years. Show me where there's any anti-Semitism or racism in it. Quite the opposite, because what I'm saying is, ironically, we need to put down these irrelevant manufactured fault lines of race and religion and culture and color that divide us and realize that we're actually all one consciousness having different experiences.
Do we really want to live in a world where censorship is justified as necessary for public order? A world where individuals like DavidIcke, who dare to question the mainstream narrative, can be silenced and labeled as dangerous to society? Are we okay with living in a society where we need permission to do anything in the name of saving the planet, while billionaires who claim to be environmental champions continue to pollute the world with their yachts and private jets? Will we be content when we no longer own anything and AI controls our every thought, word, and action? These are crucial conversations that demand our attention. As DavidIcke has stated, the 1% cannot control the 99% if we refuse to give them the power to do so. Let's not ignore these issues. Instead, let's engage in meaningful dialogue and take action to protect our freedoms and basic human rights. If you found this message compelling, please share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and turn on post notifications for more thought-provoking content. Thank you for watching.